A third pretty face commanded the screen. Mazursky had an equally square shape to her features, while still feminine. Large eyes, dark hair pulled back with strands twirling around her ears. The more Jennifer looked at them, the more she saw how much Mazursky looked like her daughter. She advanced to a slide which paired the faces of Sloane DeWan and Lana Mazursky side by side. Lana is Sloane's mother. Mother was the operative word. She imagined the scene as she'd pieced it together, a young Mazursky writhing in an alleyway as the rain poured down, giving birth. Seamus Argon later darkening the mouth of the alley when he heard the abandoned infant's cries coming from a storm drain. She gripped the podium with both hands again and gazed out over the expectant faces of the crowd. These three women have something in common. In unique ways, they're each a part of the black market prostitution ring called X-List. Lana there at the beginning, Rebecca in the middle of it, and Sloane a product of it. In my investigation, which started over a year ago, and which I recently resumed, I traced the evolution of X-List from its origins to what it is now, a massive black market in the United States and into Canada and Mexico. Jennifer observed the man standing at the back. He pointed a finger at the door and then turned and let himself out. She studied him as he sat across from her in the back of the large SUV. The driver whisked them away down Pennsylvania Avenue, leaving behind the squat, gray Justice Department headquarters. "I thought we were meeting later today," she said. "You stalking me? Checking up?" "Been a long time," Rasher said. "That was a good presentation. Sorry I couldn't stay to the end." She looked out the window as they sped down 9th Street. He tilted his head to the side, sympathy working its way into his eyes. "How are you feeling?" She looked at him, perhaps too quickly, her gaze too sharp. She realized some part of her would have loved to boot him out the door and watch his body bounce down the road, maybe get run over by one of the huge tourist buses circling the Smithsonian. "I'm fine," she said, debating on whether to say any more. If she should tell him how hard it had been since that day in Manhattan, that despite everyone's sympathetic smiles, 3 different specialists, and a physical therapist, she still dreamed of Jeremy Starles at night. Or Agent Apollo, taking his own life in front of her. No, she concluded that the simple "I'm fine" was sufficient. "Jen, you've really pulled it together. And after all you've been through, it's remarkable." "What I've been through? What about what they've been through? Sloane DeWan, Lana Mazursky, Heilshorn's daughter, Brendan Healy." She raised her eyebrows on the last name. "He's the main reason I'm even alive right now." She wanted to say more, but held off. Why wasn't I protected? Why wasn't I told the FBI was going to play possum while the Justice Department sent me into the lion's den? Rasher looked at her like he was reading her thoughts. She felt irritated, as if it somehow made her a transparent person. She decided instead it was because she and John had spent 3 years together in law school. And that, like it or not, people didn't really change. She thought she'd bring that up if the situation called for it. Surely John thought he'd come a long way and had changed since those days. Didn't everyone think that? "Hey, listen," he said in a voice she recognized. It was the same voice he would use after his temper flared, and he'd yell and berate her, all while telling her he was challenging her to become a more astute observer, a more critical thinker, a better person. She rested in the idea that men like him were a dying breed. That was harsh. She knew it was harsh, probably harsher than imagining him kicked out of a moving vehicle, but she couldn't help it. "Listen," he said again, and shifted his weight. Dear God, he's going to put a hand on my knee. But he didn't. He said, "I stepped in because I had to. You have been in no condition. No one faults you for that. But there's no sense in..."